as well in the audience. That's why I wanted to start by briefly introducing social capital to each one of you. So we've started it, what, Raza, over a year now, if you can believe it. And exactly. And basically, the whole purpose is for us to bring together a diverse and inclusive community of individuals from three main areas: social entrepreneurs and non-profits, startups and SMEs, as well as people in technology and innovation. The aim of the platform is to foster collaborations, support, and knowledge sharing in order for us to be able to positively impact the business ecosystem, as well as to advance the progress towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, today we have invited Expo 2020's Expo Live team, represented by Jana Elkova, who is going to take us through a short presentation about what Expo 2020 means, in case none of us knows, and also what the Expo Live Impact Innovation Grant Program is, because this gives a unique opportunity to access grants of up to $100,000, as well as be showcased during the Expo 2020 event. And as soon as we finish with the presentation and we get to understand more from Jana, how can we apply to the grants, how can we apply for the funding, we will also have a panel discussion with three of the global innovators. Thea Mirfold, who is the CEO and founder of Teach Me Now, Abdullah Al-Noaimi, the founder of Yalla Give, as well as Ian Dillon, the co-founder of Now Money. As soon as we finish, Now Money.
I'm a co-founder of No Money.
No. As soon as we finish with the two sessions, we will open it up to you for Q&A, as well as you will have a chance to spend more time individually with Jana to get to know better how to apply to the grants program. Now, over to Jana, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So, as Mihaela mentioned, I'm Jana. I'm from the Expo Live Innovation Grant Program. So, in addition to our three global innovators that are sitting here, we have a fourth one, Atle, from Desert Control, Norway. So, out of 120 projects that we are funding, we have four with us today. So first we will start with Expo 2020, because our program is a part of this huge global mega event. I'm sure the audience I'm speaking to today knows that what Expo is and what the fact that we are having it in Dubai. But sometimes we do get questions like, okay, so what is really going to happen during the event? Now, do you know why we are showing this picture here? Exactly. So the famous Eiffel Tower was actually a main entrance to the Expo when Expo took place in France. And also, Expo has a very, very long history. It's actually Dubai Expo, I made the calculation, I think it's 175th years since the first Expo took place. So the first one took place in 19th century in London. So the main buildings you see in London now, Royal Albert Hall, universities, the museums, the galleries, those were actually buildings that were built for the purpose of the Expo that was taking place in London. So imagine the legacy that this event has. Ever since then, every 5 years, Expo takes place in one of the countries. It's very similar to Olympic Games. Countries actually compete to host the event, and then they are preparing for the event. Now, that's why every 5 years we just highlighted few of the years where the expos were very, very famous. Japan, New York, France. The famous one was in Belgium, and the last one was in Milan, 2015. And a couple of months ago, the country was selected that will host the next Expo, which will be Osaka, Japan. So during these expos, the latest technologies, the latest innovations, best practices, and overall progress of humanity is being showcased and discussed. So this is where the world comes together on a country level to come and sort of celebrate the progress of the humanity, to discuss, to explore new opportunities, and to see, how the world can collaborate together. And as we know, the 2020 Expo will be in Dubai. It's a huge milestone for the region because it's the first time that the Expo is taking place in the region, including South Asia and North Africa. So if you look at the map, in our office we have a big world map showing all the 35 expos that have already taken place, and it's either on the very west or the very east, Asia or Europe. But now we have a dot in the region. So it's a huge, huge thing for the region because it just puts the region on the world map. It will bring so many people here, investors. We actually have a slide on that. So we will have, the event will be full of investors, innovators, entrepreneurs, academia, international organization, governments. So during the period of 6 months, everyone will have to decide to actually come together and explore all the new opportunities our world is having. So we are expecting around 25 million visits, and because of the nature of the region, it will be mostly international. It will not top the Expo in Shanghai in China, which I think had 100 million visitors, just because of the fact that it was in China, but 95% were local. Right? So this is other way around. Most of the visitors will be coming from abroad. Now, every expo has a theme. The last expo was about food. The expo in Portugal was about water resources, protection of water resources. This expo has a theme of connecting minds, creating future. The theme was actually coined by Sheikh Mohammed, who felt that, before a long time ago, the innovations were taking place, were coming together in these laboratories where a scientist may have worked for 20 years and came up with something. Now, actually, the innovation, the best practices, the progress is happening through connections, us coming together, connecting. Thea, you told me today the story that when Thea, one of our global innovators, met with our global innovator from Argentina, and Thea is based here in the UAE, now they are working together. They are doing business together. Argentina is providing the people with determination who can be mentors, who can be teachers. Thea is providing the platform and the students. So they have connected and they have created something new. This is the actual site. It's a site of 4 square kilometers. And it's in Dubai South, as many of you know, because we are from here. It's right opposite the Dubai Investment Park. The road, which used to be called Labah Road, is now called Expo Road. So it's all kind of showing the direction to the Expo now. There will be, this site will hold 300,000 visitors per day. There will be around 60 events taking place at the site per day. And our colleagues who run the logistics and operations, they will have a schedule that will be broken down by 15-minute slots. So every 15 minutes, there is a schedule for something happening at the Expo site. Because it's a huge, it's called a mega event, like Olympic Games, Expos are mega events. It needs a lot of resources. We need 30,000 volunteers to help during the event. And as of today, I think 50,000 have already registered to help. Now you see the three main areas of the Expo, and these are devoted to three main themes of the Expo. One is opportunity, which will talk about all the new opportunities that humanity now has with AI, with all the new technologies. We know that the world is changing, the jobs are changing, the people we are servicing are changing, the people's needs are changing. So that's exactly the pavilion that will be showcasing this. The next theme is mobility, and it will be about how do we reach these opportunities? But it's not only physical mobility, like, okay, we will have flying cars, but it will be about mobility of thought, of mind. We now know that thoughts can travel. One of our innovators from Argentina, also OTA, they have a device used by people who can't speak, and it literally reads their thoughts and computer speaks on behalf of them. So now these people can communicate. So that's mobility. The third theme is sustainability. And it's all about how we will make this sustainable. All these new things that we are working on now, how they will be sustainable. So this is the site, and we have a short video. So this is the big center, which is called Al Wasl Square. This is the largest area where all the big events will be taking place. So when any country has a national day, or there is the Earth Day, it will be all celebrated here. This big globe is a video screen, which will be the largest video screen in the world, which will be projecting different videos. Now, all around the three main pavilions, you see all of these small ones. And those are the country pavilions. So when I said that the Expo is the participation in the Expo is on a country level, this is where each country that confirmed participation is bringing their own, or actually building their own pavilion. So, as of today, yes, I was just going to say that. As of today, we have more than 190 countries confirmed participation. And it's the largest amount in the whole Expo history of 175 years. Now, the reason why is also because of course, participating in the Expo is a huge investment for a country. Building a pavilion, managing operation for so long, for 6 months, taking the pavilion down, staff, traveling, everything. It's a huge investment. A lot of the small countries could never afford this. Imagine like Pacific Islands, like Palau, Vanuatu, right? How could they have their stand on their own? So they used to be usually in like one collective stand, if anything at all. Now the UAE government is actually supporting and helping these countries having their own pavilions. So now for the first time in history, we will see many countries that will be participating and part of the Expo with their own pavilions. Each country is deciding the theme of their pavilion. I know that Monaco will be about life under the water. It's usually very much connected with the SDGs. The Czech Republic Pavilion will be about technologies that transfer water from the air. And so each pavilion is devoted to a theme. Now, a part of showcasing innovation, there is another thing that the UAE government is doing for the first time in the World Expo history, and this is supporting social innovation. Supporting such innovation and such entrepreneurship that is helping solve social or environmental or humanitarian problems. And as a result of that, when UAE was still pitching to host the Expo, Princess Haya, she gave a promise on the behalf of the government saying that the government will allocate funds to fund and support social innovation and social entrepreneurship around the world. And that's what Expo Live is. So we have Innovation Impact Grant Program that is designed to fund and to promote social entrepreneurship around the world. And not only that, the social innovations that we are funding, we are also bringing to the actual exhibition. So this is also a way of sourcing content for the actual expo. So during the expo, there will be Expo Live Pavilion. It probably won't be called Expo Live, it will have a different name, but there will be a pavilion which will showcase these social entrepreneurs that we have funded and supported. So when visitors come, they will be able to see only innovation that relates to doing good. So as of today, we have now finished 4 cycles of the grant program. And we have 121 global innovators from 65 countries in our portfolio that we have supported and promoted. Now, when I say 4 cycles, we finished 4 cycles. As of 4 cycles, we received nearly 7,000 applications, and now we are in the 5th cycle. And the reason also why this presentation is taking place today, because on Thursday is the deadline for grant applications. This coming Thursday on the 15th of September. So now I will talk about the grant program. Those who feel that this is the right program for you. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, and if you have any question, prepare your questions. Feel free to ask during the Q&A or later. So when I say support, what kind of social innovation we are supporting? So we are looking for innovations, for ideas, for projects that matter, that are addressing a problem. Desert Control from Norway. Atla would be the best person to say it, but I'll try to say very quickly. They are solving a problem of irrigation. We use too much water for irrigation. The nanotechnology that they came up with mixes particles with the soil in such a way that the irrigation water usage is cut by 50%. So imagine the implication it would have in terms of water savings here in Dubai, in the UAE, and the whole world. So that's a problem that is worth solving. And that's an innovation that really matters. We are looking for genuine stories. What it means, we don't look only on the project. We look also at the person behind the project. We are looking at the founder. What prompted him or her to do this, What prompted him or her to decide, to solve this problem and to really dedicate his or her life and career to this. One of our GIs now, Money, is about really Kate. She was an investment banker. She worked Catherine, she worked in banking, and one day she decided, no, I'm going to set up my own enterprise and will be working on solving the problems that unbanked population has. Partnership readiness. So what we are looking at is at the entrepreneurs, the founders that are open for collaboration. They see that partnerships and collaboration is a way of progress and growth. Now, what we are providing to them, to the projects that we are supporting. One is that in addition to the grant, to the financial support, we are giving them exposure. So even though, we are still some time before the actual event, our grantees are already receiving the grants, are already receiving media exposure. We bring them to different events to speak on subject matter topics. We showcase them at exhibition. Every year we are at JITEX where we showcase them. So in addition to the financial help, support, funding, they receive a lot of non-financial support. In terms of the partnerships, that's another way of how we support the grantees non-financially, is that we connect them. We connect them with premier partners. We connect them with our collaborating agencies. Few of them, for example, are now working with Accenture. Accenture is doing a pro bono consultancy for one of our grantees. We connect them to even their ambassadors. So when they come to pitch their projects, we bring ambassadors from their countries to support them. So that's Maria Soledad from Ecuador, and down there is her ambassador. And by the time, actually it was here in Dubai, by the time Maria got on the plane and reached Ecuador, she already had 2 meeting invitations by 2 ministries in the country, which were actually arranged by the ambassador. Now, her online platform is the #1 online platform in the region. So and in the end, of course, this is what is taking place before Expo, and of course, during the Expo, that's the big ticket. That's where projects that are successful will be brought to the Expo. The founders will be brought to the Expo. The projects will be showcased in our own pavilion. They will be showcased in their country pavilions. They will be showcased in the thematic pavilions, while the founders may be having meetings with the investors, with government delegations, giving workshops to the public, etc. So we are already now working on a schedule, on the programming in a way, how to make this happen. So when you're wondering about the whole timeline, the whole process, so as we mentioned, the deadline for accepting application is now on Thursday, September 15th. And after that, We will be evaluating and shortlisting application to the next stage, technical stage. Then we evaluate and shortlist again. And the finalists will come to the live presentations. So we bring all the finalists to Dubai to present to the evaluation committee, and evaluation committee makes the final decision. So the first event, feel free to email to this email address, which is managed by me and my colleague Jana. So one of us will respond to you. Yes, you're welcome.